Donna from Roy.
Good to see you.
You want to do that? I love that idea. What's that? Oh, I love you all. No, you don't have to disclose this. Jesus, it's the children's thing. Look at this. Oh. All right, I'll go on this. I love it. So, how many times have we done this, Riley?
A lot.
A lot. In January, we ended up doing this exact same thing. She came with me to turning in all the signatures, and it was a really, really fun thing. And what were your duties? What were you responsible for on when we turned in those signatures?
The unraveling and also writing how many signatures we got.
And how many signatures did we get? Do you remember?
330,011.
Wow. 111. And
Did you receive that?
oh, so that's a sore spot. That was just kind of mean. So the I got to just share the story. So we went to the Red Lion in Olympia, and it was the night before, and we practiced. We practiced doing that, and she wrote the number on the board, and I said, "You need
Make it more fluent."
More fluid. We need to absolutely have more flourish, I think we said. So let's get this out of here. I need all my peeps. I need all my peeps around me. So we're everybody here, and we need to move back this direction if we can. All right. So let's step forward a little closer. More of my peeps. Are we on time? Believe in punctuality. 7:46. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Alright. So, no prepared remarks, so we're just gonna wing it a little bit. This initiative is a huge, huge victory for the state of Washington. We're extremely excited that we got this victory for the taxpayers of the state of Washington. And I can say it's a victory because it doesn't matter what the percentage is tonight. We already won by qualifying for the ballot. Any initiative that can make it through the gauntlet that we have in the state of Washington is an amazing thing. To be able to get 300,000 plus signatures in such a short period of time is astronomically difficult. And the fact that we qualified this initiative and forced the other side to spend $5 million and expose themselves to the fact that they were the pigs at the trough, that they had that much money in order to be able to tell people to vote no. And it's a tremendous victory when you can smoke these people out, to be able to get big business and big labor and politicians and the press all on one side saying, you don't want to vote for that initiative. That's really bad. You need to vote no on that. And the average voter on the other side says to themselves, well, if you guys, all these powerful people are saying to vote no, you know what? Maybe I'm more inclined to vote yes. So I think it's a huge victory. I know that the idea, are you guys ready? Yes. All right, I love it. So we have, of course, a little rhetorical flourish, because that's what we do. A drama, nicely done. So if on cue, the voters voted for it once in 1999. Let it drop. There it is. And you're beautiful, Larry. And you did it again in 2002. Let her go, Cheryl. Love it. And they did it again tonight in 2019 with Ted. $30 tab 3 times. All right, pull those up and we're going to do it again. No. Get to work. Get to work. That's my visual aid. So with that, I'll open it up to questions, and whatever you want to ask is fine. We'll be here all night answering questions and everything. And you notice you guys are invited here. You're not invited over there. So we're going to probably spend most of our time down here. Just grab me if you need me, and we're good to go. So dive in. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm good. We did win. We're gonna win. We're gonna win big. So
65% is your call?
well, that's what I said before. What? Not gonna. All right, sorry. 65% is what we're gonna get. I forgot. Polls haven't closed yet. The percentage is going to be what it's going to be. My gut tells me it's going to be a blowout, that it's going to be huge. But at the end of the day, you just don't know. And but you always have to project confidence. You always have to project the idea that things are going to be great. And you hope that there's a lot of people out there that are willing to listen to that and see that optimism and see that positive outlook, and maybe inspire them a little bit to say, you know what? I'm going to vote yes on this. So, and they brought cake. Look at this. Oh my God.
We're gonna start cutting some.
Oh, I gotta this is a great murder weapon. Look at that. This is good. I'm going to steal it. I'm going to steal it because it's so cool looking. Look at that. Riley, will you take my murder weapon? Take the knife. Don't use it on me. Don't use it on me. Just take the slice.
That's from Borchini's, everyone.
That's all good. What's that again?
Borchini's Bakery in Seattle.
Oh, I
Give 'em a
love
shout
them.
out.
I love them. No, I can't. Well, stay that for you. Can you hold that for me? Yep. That's just
Seattle people do love Tim Eyman.
yeah, right.
Somebody get him on that.
Oh, that's cool. It's so good. Thank you so much. Awesome. Fantastic. It's all good. Help me out. These are my teeth. These are my teeth. That's all. Thank you very much. All right, why not? Get in here, KC. I got a shirt for you. We're going to just keep on talking. There we go. Don't I owe you a shirt, Casey? I remember. He's been asking for this thing for a while. Casey, can you see it? It's coming.
If you can, talk about
Thank you.
Oh. Yeah.
You gotta come over here. Sorry, this can't go over here.
Okay, really good on that picture.
All very positive. I noticed Stuart Elway did not come out with a poll. And I always thought that's a good sign, because the only time you ever see a Stuart Elway poll come out is when our initiative is going down, but it passes anyway. And so clearly the poll results must have been really positive because he didn't want to release it. So I'm being snarky there. No, I'm just confident because I think the voters really want this, and we spent a tremendous amount of time getting signatures for this.
It's a great time that's going, guys. You've seen this before. Like, what a great trailer and a great poster. And just this moment right now.
Sign that voters know that this is their only chance.
Weighing it out and I'm looking at gridlock and I'm sick of the situation in terms of practice. You're not sure.
I guess the biggest thing I would always highlight is to point out that if the tax is dishonest, it doesn't matter what we're spending the money on. It could be on fairies and pixie dust. It doesn't matter. If it's a dishonest tax, let's get rid of it. And so the other side seemed to run a campaign that said, yeah, we're ripping you off. Sure. You gotta understand, we're using that money that we're taking from you on really great stuff. And I just think the average voter just said, so your burglar burgles your house, takes your money, and says, don't worry, I'm spending your money right. And I just think the average voter just said, this is crazy. You're taking money you shouldn't take, and it doesn't matter what the money is spent on. As far as gridlock and stuff like that, the most dishonest ad we saw is, how are we going to fund our roads and bridges if we don't have car tab taxes? Not a penny of the car tab tax actually goes to roads and bridges. Sound Transit doesn't spend a single penny of car tab taxes on roads and bridges. They are spending it on other stuff. But even if they were spending it on wonderful stuff that everybody wanted, if it's dishonest, get rid of it. It's what she said. So she, but honestly, it is amazing how much the other side looked at how they're spending the money, and all we focused in on is it dishonest or not. And it was a question nobody on the other side ever wanted to answer. In every debate that I was ever in, they just would not answer the question, is it a dishonest tax? Because they knew the debate's over if the answer is yes. Anybody else? What's that again? You know, since all public policy is now up to me now, and it's totally all my call. No, I think the reality is voters will decide whether or not car tabs go up, because the initiative says in order to get higher car tabs in the future, they got to get voter approval and they've got to use Kelley Blue Book. I'll be the first in line to say don't do it. Do not raise car tabs again. They voted 3 times for $30 tabs. They have a tendency, however, in Olympia to not necessarily listen to me all the time. And if they do, at least there'll be some protection when it comes to it. And I thought voter approval and Kelley Blue Book, you know, tax this honestly and ask our permission, I thought was a good, solid protection to be able to include into it.
Will you go for this again if it doesn't pass?
It's going to, so we don't have to worry about that. But I told the story earlier, is that earlier today I was sign waving outside here, and a really nice couple from Olympia came up, and he said he was 73, and I'm 53. And I did the $30 tabs initiative 20 years ago, and we were in this Winter Garden room 20 years ago, and I was 33. So 33, 53, could I envision myself doing it when I'm 73 years old? Yeah, I'd do it again, and because if they're not going to listen to us and just unilaterally start jacking up car tabs and bring back a valuation schedule that's so dishonest that everybody keeps rejecting it, we do it again. So it would be nice if our elected officials didn't do these things, then we wouldn't have to do an initiative on it at all. Anybody else?
Do you have any idea what time tonight you might
It's crazy. It's like, isn't it just one dump nowadays? Anybody know?
Yeah, one dump.
It's one dump today.
One dump today. At what time? It's like 8:15, 8:30. Everybody's out of here. I mean, honestly, it's just the craziest, nutsiest thing. So we're gonna know at 8:15, and you know, we're all home early, and it's all good. Do your homework. So what is it now? I don't know. Almost you don't want to do it. I want to unfurl that banner again. Who's got the banner? There's our $30 tabs banner. The press stole it. I love it. You want to do it, okay? I do it wrong?
I have to.
You're the unfurler. Is that a word? It is. Are you an unfurler? Can I please have audience participation? When she goes to the other side, if you can go in a glorious clap. All right? This is Riley, by the way. She's my daughter. This is Jim Washburn. He plays up at Daniels. Just celebrating his what anniversary?
30th year at Daniels. Hey, how you doing? Oh, 30. The number.
So, what's going to happen when we unfurl this? Cheer, big cheer. Uproarious. There we go, right? Do your deed. It used to say yes on November 5th, but that was the old banner that we lost. That's what we did.
What do you get out of this?
So much love. Yeah. It's just constant positive reinforcement. The opponents just love me. They just embrace me. It's just constant
Your opponents
positive. Absolutely. It's just, are you not paying attention? It's just everybody loves me. Everybody. How do you do it? I love it. I love everything about it. of doing the initiatives. I just I love the fact that I have no control over whether or not let's vote for it. You make all the right people mad, which is just really awesome. You get Jay Inslee a couple of days before the election saying he will not solve homelessness unless voters reject the initiative. The most insane, stupid thing that he could possibly say, and he says that, and the initiative process brought that out of him, and just, it's just everything about it. And there's a saying, find what you love to do, and you'll never work a day in your life. And I feel like for 20 years, I just haven't had to work at all. It's just been enormous fun, and I'll do it for another 20. So I'm really excited about it. So anyway, love you guys, and thanks for coming out.
Yeah, love you, Tim. All right.
Yeah.
And there you go. Mic drop. All right. Get the shirts back here. No, we gotta wear it all night. We can wear it all night.
Tight wad.
Yeah, I know. We didn't have any money for anything else.
Here, Tim.
Yay! I love you all.
We love you. I don't have long enough arms, I'm short.
I'm in there.
Tim,
I'm going for you.
thanks for doing this, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
On Monday, that's right. That's right, Ted.
Don't forget. What's that? Text me.
Yes.
I'm certain of it. I'm certain.
You got your ticket.
Love you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you so much for your help today.
You do a great job.
This is Larry Jensen from Anacortes. Did our banners. Brought them down. I'm going to break a leg.
All right.
Public transportation roads project, which here people feel like that's
Take
why
part.
okay. And if you're going to raise car taps in the future,
Oh, they got it. I hear music. Take some.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Bye, guys. We'll see you around.
There's so much, man. This is awesome. Where do you start this?
Hi, here you go. Cut small, I cut big.
What's your name? Casey Jeffrey.
Can you interview me after?
Okay. Good.
He misspelled it.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. We have fun. Me and my friends, we have fun.
It wasn't a boring story at all.
No bowling.
Hey, young lady, how are you? Hi, good to see you. Yeah.
Love it.
This is a great idea.
Probably for the 777, if that's right. Well, yeah.
Been doing this 20 years, man.
I know.
They're cutting
where, what margin are you coming
I mean, honestly, I'm not.
You got a bigger lead than that lingerie.
Well, he already talked about the initiative, and so now I guess he's just taking questions. Hey, Tim. Tim.
Sir!
I'd like to give this to you and your daughter. I wrote this about liberty.
Ring the Liberty Bell.
Feel me? You feel me? Yes.
Heck yeah. I don't have a problem with that at all.
All right, Tim. So what do you know?
What do I know? Riley, what are our thoughts for this evening?
I want you to meet Glenn.
Glenn is one of my favorites.
Hi, this is Glenn. This is Riley.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet your dad in line. Came on straight in there. Howdy.
I just wanted to say congratulations. I mean, I haven't heard anybody except the stinking means for the Republicans, which we know they're not. I think everyone's voting for it. I think so. I mean, everyone I've heard is saying that they're voting yes, except those.
It's always so scary because everyone I talk to is for it. It's like, well, Ferguson.
Pigs at the trough. Those are the only ones that are.
That's exactly right.
Against it.
Right. So
Hey,
love you, man.
love you,
Love
man.
you very much.
Thank you. You're my hero.
Carrie, Riley,
Hi, Riley. Is this your
daughter.
Okay. Very good.
She's a keeper. Carol's here.
Some of the results.
Can you come in here?
Hey, Riley.
Scale the rock.
Thank you for sharing your dad with the state. I know it's not easy.
So if I'm looking at 116,000 votes,
I'm
56.
responsible for
56 with a lot more. Carol, come on in. We need you.
56% so far, but limited count.
Well, yeah. Only two counties counted. 1 second. Get one more. Nice. 54%.
Okay, now this is actually a video, so
is
you
it?
can
Never mind.
say a few words.
Nah, we're good.
All
We're
right. I'll try to get some of this video I shot for you.
I would be
tonight.
so grateful.
Yeah.
I need to say that mostly to myself.
Yes.
Simone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How long before you're going?
Oh, a minute.
Just do a live thing.
It's honestly, it's so quick.
Okay, all good.
So we're at 45.
Who's came though? I mean,
And
that's
Thurston and Kid.
Thurston's in as part of that. Is Pearson there? Do we know?
Get that so far.
No, she's do that again.
You're here, I need you here.
She does that. Do I ever
Okay.
get really
20 away, Tim.
20? Right.
Best behavior. Indoor voice.
Center up for a box.
I'm centered up.
Good one.
Yeah, this is absolutely an initiative that really impacts everybody across the state, and the man behind voting yes for 976, Tim Eyman here. Tim, right now, first numbers coming out showing that with nearly 1 million votes in there, you're looking ahead. How do you feel?
Well, it's obviously very, very encouraging. We're really excited about it. I mean, just the fact that the voters got a chance to vote on it at all is just a huge victory. But the fact that the voters have voted for the same policy over and over and over again, I think is really significant. And the fact that this other side spent $5 million, imagine if we had had $5 million to counter that, the numbers would be even higher.
It is widely expected that this is going to face some legal challenges if 976 is in fact passed. Are you ready for that?
Well, I think it's kind of insane that the government themselves will actually sue the voters because they don't like the decision that the voters made. It's pretty sick, the fact that they will not accept the will of the people, especially when the voters vote for it over and over again. But we were very careful when we drafted it. We think we're real solid.
Okay, Tim Eyman, thank you so much for your time, and we're also going to be getting reaction from the people against 976.
That's spontaneous. That's spontaneous applause. How did you know?
Tim?
Yeah.
Those numbers haven't changed yet, but...
Is there any counties, who's missing? I mean, it's like the major. Oh, that's, these are our peaks. These
I
are
haven't
our
been cleared,
peaks.
but...
Still out there. Yakima's still out there.
My
I don't think they're
hometown,
gonna
you're
clear.
killing me.
Okay, so is his, can we turn his mic back and get this?
Yes is up 54.5 to 45.5. I mean, good sign?
Yes, she said yes. That is very, very cool. Oh, what the heck? We declare victory. We declare Oh, super cool. Declaring victory. It's over. You can stop counting. It's over. No, it's all good. Those are tremendously positive numbers. Inconceivable that they'll go against us. It's really exciting, and Yakima is going to crush, and I think Snohomish is going to do well for us as well. So I'll officially declare victory for the taxpayers of the state of Washington. Oh yeah, there we go, victory. Standing and victory. She prompted me to do it. I'm so moved. I'm so moved. That is so awesome. So anyway, but it's all good. So tell me when there's more numbers and we can do more.
What do you think it is about this initiative that's, gotten 54% support right now?
You voted for it over and over again, and I can't tell you how many people would say to me, whatever happened to our $30 tabs? And they would say it with anger, and they would say it with disgust, and they would say it with a feeling of helplessness that you just can't beat City Hall. And what's so gratifying about this one is that when voters said, didn't we already vote for this? I go, oh, we actually voted for it twice. And we have to do it a third time because these dirty dog politicians aren't willing to listen after 2 times. So I think the reason why it has such a strong level of support is just because the voters have voted for it over and over again, and they're just asking themselves the question, why isn't it 30 if we voted for it so many times?
So what's going to happen with all the projects that are going to get plugs pulled on them? You've heard all the threats that came from the other side.
It's true.
Is that going to happen? What?
It depends on my mood. Because I can personally bring down bridges, and as long as they don't make me angry, I think we're all going to be okay. But no, it is so insane and so silly what the other side has said about it and everything. Our politicians, now that the initiative has passed, have to go through the 5 stages of grief. They go through denial, they will go into anger, they're going to go into a depression, but eventually they will get around to acceptance. And the sooner they get to that point, the better off we're going to be. So I think their first reaction is going to be, it didn't actually happen. Then they're going to go on to, they're going to get angry it happened, and then they're going to get kind of depressed that it happened. But then they're going to have to say to themselves, well, next year's an election year, and I'd really like to be reelected. And we do have a pot of money, $3.5 billion, that we've got to be able to backfill these programs that they say are worth about $600 million a year. There's more than enough money there to be able to backfill the affected programs. And you have to ask yourself the question, you just got through saying that death, destruction, the end of Western civilization will occur if we do not fund these programs. Well, if that's true, why wouldn't you take a fraction of the money that you have, the reserve money, the money that's the surplus, and use it to backfill the programs?
Do you think they will tap into the rainy day fund?
I think what you're always going to have, and you always have to remember, is the pigs at the trough, the ones that spent the $5 million, are very powerful. And they're going to go to every elected official and they're going to say, give me that money. Give me that money. Because the voters said no to this tax, but they didn't say no to our program. They love our program. And the beauty of the initiative process is they're not going to just give them the money, they're going to have to earn it. They're going to have to re-justify themselves. And I think that's going to be an extremely positive thing for them to have to go through the process of going to a hearing and saying, we currently get money from this dishonest tax that the voters just rejected, but we want some money to replenish that money. And will the politicians give them that money? It's an election year. It's what they did 20 years ago.
You declared victory. The initial numbers look good. You were outspent by a bigger margin than that. What was it that got this passed?
I think it was their $5 million, honestly. I mean, I think they helped us. I really do. It would be, frankly, tactically smarter for me to say the margin would have been higher if they hadn't spent that $5 million. But advertising has to be persuasive. You have to believe it. And if you're told 30, 40 times that vote no on this initiative because bridges will fall, you have to believe that. And it's just not believable when the Skagit Valley Bridge got knocked down by a truck and not because we weren't paying enough in taxes. So I think fundamentally the reason why it passed, I gotta say, Sound Transit. I mean, Sound Transit just lied. They lied so many times. They lied to the legislature, lied to the voters, lied to the Attorney General, they lied to the Supreme Court. And I think voters would be willing to be open to that if they had another crack at it.
The governor we just spoke to is saying we need to keep counting the votes. You are declaring victory right now. What's your message to the governor?
God, there's just so many things. It's really hard. All right. tonight's the $30 taps night. You're not going to cover this other shit, but we should talk about it. We have a signature drive going on right now.
But it's
and
not
got
the
till
end,
of December.
Tim Eyman, regardless of what, because you know they're not going to be $30 for very long, right?
I'm
just saying.
But I always said the reason we're a permanent offense is that if you stick with it, it'll last longer. If I walked away, then they would go, oh, opening, window. As long as we're in there pushing, it's much, much harder for them to do it. So as long as you're willing to show up, and now we have increased credibility where we hadn't qualified one for a little while. Now that it's passed, we go, oh, we hit them with everything we had, and we hit them with everything we had, and it's still coming.
The term limits on taxes.
Yes.
That would just be general. So if I have a soda tax for
my fault.
forever.
It's only the tax increases if they pass this legislative session. So there were 12 tax advisory votes. So therefore the voters, and it'd be November 2020. So we're like, yeah, it's a different cycle.
Retroactive to this, not retroactive, but
I do too. It would be, yeah, it would get rid of
12 is my favorite.
That's right. It would overturn those 12.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Tim, one more.
You gotta get all this one. He's probably the player already.
Okay, so I just
One back. Oh, that's okay.
Is it the best?
I can handle
It's a great theme. It's a great
Wait for
theme.
these numbers to
Good job, Tim. Good job.
I love it. I got one. No, I got to deal with the thing. Yeah. When he called Jerry. Jerry's the highest bidder.
Oh yeah.
Let's get
Got my car right
He's
now.
he's called 8:42, so that's like 14 minutes ago. Five eight four 260-584-0803.
Oh, you like crab? You know what, you guys? I got some crab pots I want to get. You guys need any? You guys need any crab pots? These are the goose.
Tim from Charles.
Yeah, I'll get him.
Mr. Eyman, I want to say thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Jerry, you there? What's your first name?
Scotty.
Scotty.
Yeah.
Good to meet you, man.
I've met you before.
Thank you for coming.
Well, I saw it on the news you were here, so I drove on down.
Rightly so.
Parked my dump truck down the way.
Hello?
Glenn wants to catch up with you. He went down to 188.
Oh, he
Glenn
should.
Morgan. So I thought you might like to know.
I'm glad you told me that.
Okay.
What happened to R88? Does anybody know?
Somebody just said it was up to 55 now, but I didn't get to see the numbers.
55 approved or rejected?
Approved. You didn't know about the 54?
I know nothing.
You were like 54, 46, or 47.
No, we're up.
We're up.
I'm totally confused.
We're up 54.
Are the good guys winning or the
Yes,
bad
the
guys?
good
guys
are
winning.
Even 88 's running neck and neck.
Can you hear me, Jerry? Jerry, can you hear me?
Oh, in Pierce County, 88 was rejected by 80%, 60%.
You guys, it's good to spend
976, 74%.
Take a week off school to go elk up with my
Did
dad.
Snohomish come in?
For it is we.
74, 73.
Seriously? Let me give you an answer. And this happened 2 years ago, first day of classes. We were all meeting our first freshman, and I don't
You're
want
in the
this,
picture.
Yeah.
He's
I
a
don't want
elected
this
official.
videotaped because I got fired.
He's elected official and he's a district chair.
Okay.
Basically liberals here.
Say that again.
Social liberals and
On the timber, and I asked JT about it, and then Jacqueline Maycomer came back and said, "Oh no, it helps the timber." So a bunch of people voted yes, and then JT Cross came back and said, "No, it doesn't help." And then
What is this moment like? It is just 20 years we've been battling this basic question, shouldn't it be just $30 to license your vehicle? We voted for it once, voted for it twice, now we voted for it for a third time, and it's just so incredibly gratifying that I was here in the Winter Garden at Bellevue Hyatt 20 years ago. I was 33 then. I'm 53 now, so it's such a great feeling. What is it that you think is really resonating with you? It's a dishonest tax. It's just flat out dishonest to be taxing a $10,000 vehicle like it's worth $25,000. And people that really resonated with them. And the opponents, all they kept saying is, well, we're not going to say whether it's dishonest or honest, but look at this wonderful stuff it's paying for.
voters don't care if it's dishonest, what it's being spent on. Get rid of the dishonest tax and tax us honestly.
What should, because now there's going to be probably, assuming this is true, and it looks, I mean, you've got to feel it.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, it's just over. I mean, we declared victory at 8:15. I mean, it was so obvious that voters were going to vote for it. The only question was what the margin was going to be. The numbers that I was so gratified by is that there's a blowout in Pierce County, an absolute blowout in Snohomish County, and King County sitting where it is, and that's probably because of the Seattle vote. So I think it's a pretty clear repudiation of Sound Transit and their dishonest tax.
If they had, I mean, I asked you this earlier, but now it's a little more important. If they had gotten this fixed in the legislature over the last 3 years,
yes,
would we be?
Oh, absolutely not. Initiatives flourish when politicians won't fix the problem. And here it was such an obvious problem. And for 3 years they just didn't fix it. And I'm certain that once our initiative passed in January, and Riley and I were turning in all of our signatures for our initiative, if they had actually fixed it during the legislative session, they said, hey, we fixed it. So Eyman's initiative, you don't need it anymore. It probably would have taken a lot of wind out of our sails.
What do you see in terms of the battles ahead? I mean, certainly there will be legal ads. Do you sense any of that is going to derail anything?
I mean, politicians have to go through kind of the try it again. It's pretty clear that I think the politicians need to go through the 5 stages of grief. I mean, they're going to do denial, they're going to be anger, and they're going to be sad, and then eventually they'll reach acceptance. And acceptance, the faster they get there, the better off they're going to be. I mean, the reality is so many times they will not accept what the voters have told them, and they'll say to themselves, well, the voters just didn't know what they were doing. They had $5 million to be able to convince people to vote no, and the margin of victory would have been even higher if we had had equal amounts of money.
What is your view then for them on the path forward in terms of funding some of that? You said there's some, because there'll be a lot of soul searching among those folks, and you'll laugh all the way, I'm sure. But you know, can you offer any constructive ideas on how they can build some of these things that people maybe want?
Well, it's not like we kept it a secret throughout the entire campaign. We said 20 years ago, you used the surplus to backfill the affected programs because it's an election year. You guys want to be reelected. This time, they have a $3.5 billion tax surplus, and they're facing the voters in November of 2020. Why not backfill the affected programs with the surplus? It's not like we've sprung it on everybody on election night. We've been saying this throughout the entire time. And they go, no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, it's $3.5 billion, but it's not really a surplus. It's more of a reserve. The overtax is $3.5 billion. You have more money than you've ever had. Move the money around, fund the programs that you say are so critical, and the world won't come to an end.
Can I ask you, what is some of this moment like for you?
I'm very proud for my dad. We actually made this, and I feel really good about this.
We collected signatures at so many of the fairs together, and did everybody like your dad? How many times would you run into people where they go, what kinds of things would they say about me?
Yeah, I don't know if you know that guy.
And did it ever bother you at all? Yeah. So what was so funny about it is that whether people like me or dislike me, they understand that they're not voting on me. They're voting on the initiative. And I think the opponents basically spent $5 million trying to convince everybody I'm a bad guy, and that would somehow translate into somebody voting no. Maybe they did. Maybe they did convince everybody that I'm a really bad person. It didn't change the vote. Because it doesn't matter who the sponsor is. What matters is what does the initiative do? It actually fixes the problem. And so I thought it was really funny how the opponents spent an entire campaign just trying to make it about me. And what I did tactically is I would make sure that I was always the person out there promoting the initiative in order to let them punch themselves silly, and where the average voter is going, give me a break. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not typical. So I thought it worked out pretty well where the $5 million ended up just, getting frittered away.
I've got some. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. December 5th.
December 5th.
December 5th. There will be a law on the books saying Sound Transit must retire the bonds. Now they're going to say, we don't want to do that. But there's a state law that says you have to. Just in terms of anticipating this. Yeah, and they're just going to be like, well, we don't like this. It's like, a lot of things I don't like either. If the law says, so it's going to be really fascinating. And the AG has to defend the issue.
And he's your biggest fan.
Yeah, he's so funny. I'm going to go speak to the big room,
Thank you so much.
which you're not allowed into.
I understand.
So good to see you. I'm going to go to the big room. Why don't you go with me?
Vince Vaughn.
What?
What is your name?
I'm Graham Johnson from Cairo TV.
Cairo TV. All right.
Have a good one.
Dude, congratulations, man. Thank you, Tim.
I'm going to go to the big room unless they close.
No, there's no one there.
I wanted to say it was a little but it didn't come across that well. So
No.
it's like,
That's historic.
Wow.
Next time you could sit in
You're gonna bail?
like a ventriloquist and just you say it and I'll
Hell yeah! Are we gonna do like banners?
Oh, really?
There we go. I love that. Who wants to take it? Should we get like some better lighting? We need to do a victory photo. The two of us. What's our backdrop? Right here?
Right.
I love it. You ready? We want multiples. Oh, whatever it is. Ready?
Hey,
Victory!
you did it, buddy. You're awesome.
Let's see.
Look at you.
Take back everything I said about you.
Oh, I wouldn't take it all back.
Wait, so like
One
me,
more.
some of it's
I need
actually.
volume.
Second.
Right.
I love it. You ready? We want multiples. Oh, whatever it is. Ready?
Hey,
Victory!
you did it, buddy. You're awesome.
Let's see.
Look at you.
Can I ask you, what is some of this moment like for you?
I'm very proud for my dad. He actually made this. I'm working with and I feel really good about this.
We collected signatures at so many of the fairs together, and did everybody like your dad?
Yeah, this is absolutely an initiative that really impacts everybody across the state, and the man behind voting yes for 976, Tim Eyman here. Tim, right now, first numbers coming out showing that with nearly 1 million votes in there, you're looking ahead. How do you feel?
Well, it's obviously very, very encouraging. We're really excited about it. I mean, just the fact that the voters got a chance to vote on it at all is just a huge victory. But the fact that the voters have voted for the same policy over and over and over again, I think is really significant. The fact that this other side spent $5 million, imagine if we had had $5 million to counter that, the numbers would be even higher. This initiative is a huge, huge victory for the state of Washington. We're extremely excited that we got this victory for the taxpayers of the state of Washington. And I can say it's a victory because it doesn't matter what the percentage is tonight. We already won by qualifying for the ballot. Any initiative that can make it through the gauntlet that we have in the state of Washington is an amazing thing. To be able to get 300,000 plus signatures in such a short period of time is astronomically difficult. And the fact that we qualified this initiative and forced the other side to spend $5 million and expose themselves to the fact that they were the pigs at the trough, that they had that much money in order to be able to tell people to vote no, and it's a tremendous victory when you can smoke these people out. And I did the $30 tabs initiative 20 years ago, and we were in this winter garden room 20 years ago, and I was 33. So if on cue, the voters voted for it once in 1999. Let it drop. There it is. And you're beautiful, Larry. And we did it again in 2002. Let her go, Cheryl. Love it. And they did it again tonight in 2019 with Ted. $30 tab 3 times. What? Not gonna. All right, sorry. 65% is what we're going to get. I forgot. Polls haven't closed yet. The percentage is going to be what it's going to be. My gut tells me it's going to be a blowout, that it's going to be huge. But at the end of the day, you just don't know. And but you always have to project confidence. You always have to project the idea that things are going to be great. So with that, I'll open it up to questions, and whatever you want to ask is fine. We'll be here all night answering questions and everything. And you notice you guys are invited here. So, and they brought cake. Look at this. Oh my God.
We're gonna start cutting some.
Oh my God, I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna steal it because it's so cool looking. Look at that. Riley, will you take my order away? Take the knife. There it is. Don't use it on me. Don't use it on me. That's just
Seattle people do love Tim Eyman.
Yeah, right.
Somebody get him on that.
Oh, that's cool. It's so good. Thank you so much. Casey, can you see it? It's coming.
Thank you.
You've got to come over here.
But no, I'm just confident because I think the voters really want this, and we spent a tremendous amount of time getting signatures for this.
It's a great time that's going, guys. You've seen this before, like.
It is widely expected that this is going to face some legal challenges if 976 is in fact passed. Are you ready for that?
Well, I think it's kind of insane that the government themselves will actually sue the voters because they don't like the decision that the voters made. It's pretty sick, the fact that they will not accept the will of the people, especially when the voters vote for it over and over again. But we were very careful when we drafted it. We think we're real solid.
Okay, Tim Eyman, thank you so much for your time, and we're also going to be getting reaction from the people against 976.
That's spontaneous. That's spontaneous applause. How did you know?